Hey hey! Welcome to West of Hollywood. This is the charming third episode, 'cause 3 times a charm, get it? Anyway, today we're looking at something a bit different. This may be the most ambitious episode so far, which is actually not that difficult at this point. Today, we take a look at the Japanese genre experiment that is the red spectacles. Alright, so before I start with this, I feel I should explain what this movie is and where it comes from, because it's quite avant-garde and actually part of a multimedia legacy known as the Kerberos saga, which is the brainchild of Japanese writer and director Mamoru Oshii, the guy probably best known for directing the animated film Ghost in the Shell. So basically, according to its dedicated wiki page, the Kerberos saga is a military science fiction franchise and alternate history universe created by the Japanese writer and filmmaker Mamoru Oshii in 1986. The saga is centered around the fictitious Tokyo Police Special Armed Garrison Unit, whose emblem and nickname is Kerberos, aka Cerberus, the mythological 3-headed watchdog of hell. So basically, the saga takes place in Japan, or an alternate timeline in which Germany won the Battle of Stalingrad, Hitler has been assassinated, and Japan has been occupied by Germany. At some point during these incidents, a special armed police garrison is established in Japan called Kerberos. These guys are a hardcore policing unit who wear badass-looking power suits known as protect gear, a staple of the series. Due to public pressure and protests, Kerberos is later condemned for their extreme methods in dealing with crime, and when asked to disband by the government that created them, stage an uprising which fails, and the group is decimated. The saga has spanned decades, and has seen installments on a number of different mediums, with the first installment being a radio drama aired in 1986, and the most recent being a manga publication in 2009. Aside from those, the saga has included other mediums, including comics, or manga for all you purists out there, graphic novels, ungraphic novels, radio plays, and of course movies. Each installment covers a different part of the aforementioned events, but to explain the chronology of each installment would probably take a whole 5-part series, so read the wiki if you're interested. Probably the most well-known installments of the saga here in North America are the very well-animated movie Jin-Ro, The Wolf Brigade, from 2001, and the lesser-known 6-issue English-language publication of one of the comic series called Hellhounds, Panzer Cops, in 1997. In 2003, English subtitled versions of the only 2 live-action films in the saga to date were released in North America. These were The Red Spectacles, released in Japan in 1987, which we are looking at today, and Stray Dogs, released in Japan in 1991, which I'll save for another time. Alright, so now you're all up to speed, let's get this surreal, film noir, avant-garde show on the road. Just about all the actors in this film are more famous as voice acting talent for Japanese animations, so if you're at all familiar with Japanese film, you still probably won't recognize their faces. Shigeru Chiba plays Koichi Tadome, the main protagonist and former Kerberos member who was involved in the revolts. Not much is actually revealed about the background of his character, despite the fact that the story essentially revolves around his actions. From the unusually placed narrative, we can guess that he seemed to have had a high degree of authority within his unit. And as a Kerberos member, he's been trained to be an expert fighter in the use of both hand-to-hand combat and firearms, despite his unintimidating stature. He also may or may not have been rendered delusional and or psychotic by the decimation of Kerberos. Interesting. After the revolt, Koichi escapes to Taiwan, where he hides out for a number of years, and eventually returns to Japan to look for his old teammates. Next up, we have Machiko Washio, who sports the same last name as her character, Midori Washio. Coincidence? Who cares? Midori is pretty much the only female character in the whole film, and actually probably the most interesting. She too participated in the revolts and worked alongside Koichi, whom she apparently had a friendly relationship with, although there is some suggestion that their relationship might have been a bit more intimate. She sort of serves as a love interest, but calling her that would be oversimplifying things. Let's just say she's not your average female stock character, and as far as relationships go, it's complicated. After the revolt, Midori apparently ends up as the mistress of the main antagonist, although it's difficult to pinpoint the reasons behind her action. Hideo Tanaka plays Soichiro Toribe, the third former member of Todome's team. Soichiro is basically the male supporting character in the team, and as a member of Kerberos is just another soldier type. After the revolt, however, Koichi finds him hard on his luck, making money by conning pool sharks by making them think he sucks at pool, and then when they all bet against him, he suddenly shows his true skill by beating them severely. He also seems to be in cahoots with the bad guys, but, as with everything in this film, nothing is so straightforward. Basically, he's a poor guy who's really good at pool, and whose intentions are somewhat unknown. Hideo Yamamoto plays Moongaze Ginji, a strange informant who hangs around in illegal ramen noodle bars. Apparently in this world, fast food is illegal and the only place it can be enjoyed is in secret underground eateries, which are essentially big rooms with kitchens where people just stand around eating food. His job is basically to provide exposition for the audience by filling in Koichi about all the crazy stuff that's been going down since he left Japan. Crazy. And finally, there are the bad guys, or guy. Tesho Genda plays Bunmei Moroto. He's the leader of the new police force that is looking after Japan. He seems to be obsessed with capturing Koichi and finding out what he's doing back in Tokyo. He basically follows Koichi everywhere, and seems to be rather efficient at what he set out to do, as he manages to capture Koichi a number of times. He's your typical antagonist who stops the protagonist from doing what they need to do, and seems to enjoy what he does. However, he also seems to believe that what he's doing is necessary and right in the name of justice and all that.
そうやって抵抗しているようでも、実は知らぬ間にじわじわと私の望む方向に動いているということだよ。
Under him are his cronies, who make up the police force. In contrast to the Kerberos armored police, whose emblem is the three-headed dog, the new police use a cat as their emblem. This is obviously symbolic, although I'm not really sure of what. The police are best viewed collectively, as none of them have any outstanding personality in the film, and sport white powdered faces and carry guns. They actually look pretty freaky. They also follow Koichi around and get killed quite a bit. Other than that, they are just an interesting part of the environment and show up from time to time.